guess starting out at a high level, the supply chain mess, the supply chain debacle of 2021. What are you seeing from your perspective?
Yeah, sure. I mean, just to kind of recap, I guess, what's happening, right? So you're seeing just craziness in terms of the rates, definitely to start with that. So it's just like through the roof, right? So we've seen some spikes back in the day. So we've seen like a big spike in like 2014, 15, but the rates were like 3,500 at a time, and which were considered crazy. And then last year we've seen some high rates that were at about $5,000. But today, nothing compared to like what's happening today, right? It's just like unheard of. So about normal rates today are like between $15,000 to $20,000 per 40-foot container. Whereas we also have seen rates at hitting like $30,000, 35 on spot basis. So it's just that, and then also there are delays kind of throughout the supply chain, at the origin, at the destination. Ports are congested. There are space allocation issues, and I would say the whole kind of reason why it's all happening is because of lack of the supply, right? So there's space allocation issues, there are worker shortages, and there are also ports are being as big as they are today. Like say Port of LA, right? So I used to actually live in Long Beach, drive through that port every day. It's just like humongous, right?
It's massive, yeah.
It's just like enormous size, but it's still like not enough. It just doesn't have enough capacity to process all those vessels coming in. We see a big line, just standing there in at the bay, and so that's kind of like a brief overview, and so it's kind of been happening for kind of throughout the 2021. Definitely not going anywhere until the Q4 Chinese New Year is over. I kind of like to stay optimistic and hope that things are gonna get better. But many people say that we're gonna have this issue throughout the 2022 as well. So we just want to come prepared and kind of today kind of thinking ahead, just looking to discuss some specific issues on specific know-hows and just tactics on how to handle all this.
Excellent. So before we jump into those specific tactics, I'm just curious, one of the things you mentioned, obviously prices are skyrocketing, just goes right to the bottom line. I haven't been able to really push the pricing increases forward to our customers. We've been trying, but there's just so much competition in these marketplaces. So another phenomenon that's happening at this exact moment as this is happening is you have billions and billions of dollars of private equity from the Thracios of the world that are trying to buy up these FBA businesses. Have you seen any repercussions from that perspective, or are people able to add this back and be like, this is, hey, look, I want to do an EBITDA adjustment or an SDE adjustment. I know these costs are high, but like this is temporary and you're going to have to absorb this in the short term, or are the aggregators saying, look, sorry, I mean, like this might be the new way of the world. What's happening to prices of these businesses as a result of this?
So definitely we are kind of in an interesting spot, right? So if your business is valued on like a 12-month basis, right, as we all know, so essentially for the first like 6 months of trailing 12 months basis, the prices were lower, right? And now they're kind of through the roof. So I'm seeing that it becomes like essentially a negotiation point for both sides, the seller and the buyer, right? And so you want to kind of approach it as that, and kind of maybe just use it in your favor. But then because no one really knows where the price is going to go next year, right? So it can stay, it can go down, and if you're seeing some positive trends, but I don't think it's gonna we're seeing like rates go down just a bit, like today, right? So like this week, last week, but I think it's gonna still remain high throughout Q4, maybe even a little higher. So essentially, it's again a negotiation point. Like we have to observe how they and highlight for the seller needs to highlight for the buyer, or the buyer just figures that out on his own. Like how did these high prices affected that specific P&L, and just how to project it on the business value. But yeah, I would say just like a negotiation point, and you can kind of use it in your favor.
Got it. Okay.